Our speaker today, Judy Armstrong, loves helping people express their inner voice through their outer voice. She is a keynote speaker and music theater veteran who has presented in convention centers, theaters, tents, one of which was blown away in a huge storm, but that's another story. Airplane hangars, churches, cruise ships, concert stages, nightclubs, television, barns, and rooftops. Please join me now in welcoming Judy Armstrong. Take it away, Judy.
Hello there. I've stopped the video. I don't see myself. I'm here somewhere. I'll just wait 1 second till that works.
We're seeing you, Judy.
You are. How about that? Hello there. Thank you for telling me. And thank you, Earl, for that lovely reading of the Daily Word. The very first time that I ever heard about the Daily Word was many, many, many years ago. And I was in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, working at the Fathers of Confederation Theater down there. And the day before opening night of Anne of Green Gables, I sprained my ankle. I was sitting in a chaise lounge watching all of the others rehearse. I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself, actually. And there was this wonderful man that I had heard about that was also in one of the shows. His name was Tink Robinson. And he popped his head in the door. I didn't really know him very well at that point, but he was in another rehearsal hall. And he popped his head in the door and he came over to me and knelt down at my feet. He looked up at me and said, "Do you want to go on stage tomorrow night?" And I said, "Oh, I sure do." He said, "Well, just believe and know, take a breath and know that you will go on stage, and you will." And he put his hands on my ankle, and the energy that was coming through his hands filled my whole ankle area and my whole body. And I did go on stage the next night. That was the first time that I have ever experienced an instantaneous healing. And as Tink and I got to know each other better throughout that summer, he told me that right after he had put his hands on my ankle, he'd gone and phoned Silent Unity and put my name on the prayer list. Now, I was married at the time, so married and not very happy at all, not really listening to my own heart. Tink was the first one to get me to listen to my heart. And the good news is that Tink and I were married for over 40 years. He passed just 5.5 years ago, so he's with me still. But he was the one who gave me the Daily Word and said, "Here, read this." He was the one who got me to listen to my heart. And then we started our married life in Vancouver. And Tink had heard about the Unity Center on 41st and Oak. And so he said, "Come on, I want you to come for this." So we went to this wonderful service. Dale Newsom was the minister at that time. And as we were exiting the building, we shook hands with Dale and he looked at Tink and me and he said, "I want you two to be in charge of the young adults." And so we did. We did it for several years. We started out with about, maybe 7 or 8 members to begin with, and it grew to about 40, and we remained friends all through the years. And I remember that the teaching of following my heart was very important to me. And so when we had the young adults, we were always allowing all of the students, I could call them, or the young adults, to talk about anything that they wished, investigate other avenues of belief system and so on. We had a couple of Mormon ministers that came by the church and left their literature. So I said to Tink, "Why don't we invite them and just invite them in and honor them and see what they have to say so that we can appreciate that there are many cultures and faiths all around the world?" So they said yes. And we invited Min and Dale Newsom to join us. So the 2 Mormon ministers, they were missionaries rather, they were really sweet. They were young, in their 20s. And they showed us this short video, or this, we don't call it videos in those days, we called it movies, this video or this movie up on a screen. And after it was over, they said to us, "Now, don't just believe what you're hearing or seeing from this movie. I want you to go home tonight, they said, and pray about it and go into your heart and just feel what is right for you and sleep on it even. And then Dale Newsom, he said, oh, wait a minute here, let me get this straight. He said, so say I go home tonight and I pray about it and I go into my heart and then I sleep on it and I wake up in the morning and I'm listening to what my heart says. And my heart is saying, this is not my truth. And the Mormon missionary said, well, then you need to go and pray some more. So I always remember that. But we did have fun and we did honor them. But as far as he was concerned, he wanted us to understand, and actually believe what they believe. So it was very important for us to see that and to still honor them. As Tink and I later on, we worked with Mormon kids in Cardston, Alberta, and we had kids up on the stage with us in shows, and they're absolutely amazing, wonderful people. So Tink and I also had the opportunity to have an Ascended Master teacher, a wonderful spiritual guide for 25 years at least. And his main teaching, which I always remember, was he would say, dear ones, no matter what you read or what you hear or what somebody else tells you, always go inside to the I am within. That is your true guide. I've always remembered that. And he also would say, dear ones, you have free will and personal responsibility. You must always go inside to the I am presence. That is your truth. Wisdom comes directly from the divine. There is nothing in between. Nothing in between. It comes directly from the divine. So to speak the voice of wisdom, that means that we have to let go of all beliefs. And that's a big one. So just ponder this for a minute. There's no right nor wrong. Just ask yourself these questions. Is what you see real? Is what you feel, is it in the past or is it in the present? Are you thinking your own thoughts? Is how you act, is it in alignment with your words? Are you forming your beliefs from what the media tells you? And we have a lot of that. For me, I just turn it off. But maybe you listen. So you have to discern then, right? So you listen to what is said. You still have to go inside to your own heart and feel what is true. Are you forming your beliefs from maybe traditions in your family or maybe what your parents or your caregivers, whoever raised you, what they said, your grandparents or whoever it is in your life, what they said to you? Are you listening or adopting those beliefs? Have you made them your own, or are you doing it just because someone told you or someone else told you? This is very important, especially in the world that we're living in today, that you go inside and listen to your own inner knowing. So are you willing then to give up all your preconceived ideas and your doctrines, your beliefs, your habit patterns, your attachments? Because if we hold on to these, then it is more difficult for the voice of wisdom to speak through. Now in Unity, we have affirmations. Now, do affirmations work? Some of you might have different experiences with that. They say, oh yes, absolutely it works because I've seen a great change in my life. So you always know when these affirmations are working if you are totally in alignment in your life with what you are saying. For instance, if you say, I am wealthy, I am filled with abundance, I see money flowing towards me, just landing on my doorstep, and you can go on and you can make a song about it if you wish. So you say, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. And if your life is not reflecting that, then you are not in alignment. And so when you say you are wealthy, even you can act as if, right? And that sometimes will get you in the energy of that. However, If there's a pattern of going over and over and over and over again, when you are seeing yourself doubting if the next paycheck is coming in or doubting of this abundance, then you're not congruent. You're not in alignment with what you've just said. You could say, I am confident. I am masterful. I'm powerful. I am confident. And so when you say something like an affirmation, everything within your energy field that is not, say, confident, will come up into your awareness for you to let it go. And it comes up big time. And if you do not let it go and you push it down, then it will come up in another way. So you can say, I am wealthy, or I remember when I played Maria in West Side Story with a New York cast that had just come off Broadway. And one of the songs that I used to love to sing was, I am confident in sunshine. I've got confidence in rain. I am confident in confidence alone. And then she started to act as if it got confident. And of course, we all know that wonderful story. But what I'm saying here is, yes, you can act as if you're confident. However, as I say, everything else that is not confidence within you will come up to be healed. And if you become aware, because it comes up all day long, these awarenesses will come up. If it comes up, if you recognize it and pay attention to it, you can actually let it go right then and there. And you don't have to decide to push it down and say, oh, I am confident, when down deep inside you have a core belief that you are not. Another one that we do quite often is we will say, I am powerful. And maybe there's a core belief inside yourself that you are small. So when the awareness comes in and that comes up and say, oh, I'm feeling really small here, or I'm going to feel very powerful over in that part of my life. However, I'm going to keep myself small because I'm not confident here. So what if we just open to God's abundance and the power of God, and we allowed it all? We can choose. We have the choice. Another one that we say is, oh, I'm letting go. I'm letting go. And yet we hold on really tight. So just be aware of that. Just ask yourself those questions and say, where is it where I'm holding back and not actually coming into alignment with what I'm saying in the affirmations? Another one that we often say is, let's live in the now. We must live in the now. And as soon as I say, I must live in the now, I'm not living in the now. However, if I'm just in the now, I don't actually have to prove to you that I'm living in the now. So that's how it works. So you can have fun with this. So one of the things that I love to do, as Pixie said in the introduction, is I love to help people express their inner voice through their outer voice. So there's so much to voice work. It's so absolutely wonderful. And I do help people on Zoom at the moment, so that we're not doing them in person. And that is for speakers and for singers. So I just had a call just yesterday, I guess it was, and someone said he wasn't confident in his voice. He wasn't confident to use his voice. He's never, or I know what he said, he's not being heard. So, excuse me, so I could tell that there was a confidence issue there, and he thought that maybe by improving his voice or his vocal quality and his pitch and his range and his diction and being able to speak without a microphone, that would help his confidence, and it most likely will. But with voice work, there comes a time when you let go of all of the things that you have learned. If I could teach technique, because there's breath, voice is all, of course, supported on breath work and all of that. And you learn the technique, you learn the placement, you learn where to place the sounds in the resonance cavities. And we have many of them, how to project your voice, how to bring it forward. And if I did a demonstration now, I would probably, Lawrence would say I would blow the speakers or the bandwidth, so I won't do that. However, this is all the immense possibilities that you have within your own speaking voice. And then when you learn that technique, if you choose to do that, or even become aware of some of that, then when you tune into your own inner knowing and your own I am presence, then the voice of wisdom speaks through you and you actually become the voice of wisdom. So if I have taken a song, for instance, and I practice it over and over and over and over and over again, every little nuance and every little diction, and then there's a point where I just need to let it go and you just be the song and you just become the song. So that's where we want to get to when we are becoming aware of speaking the voice of wisdom. And the voice of wisdom speaks through every single one of us. I was teaching a workshop once and just talking about talents and gifts, because sometimes we have a little competition and we look at another person and we think, oh, that person has all these gifts, but I don't. But we all have gifts. And I remember in this workshop, everybody had said, well, I think one person said computers, another person loved gardening, and another person was really good at organizing things. So they all had something that they started to recognize about themselves. And I remember this one lady said, I don't have any gifts. I don't have any gifts. And I said, well, what do you like to do? And she said, well, nothing much. I just love to walk outdoors. So I said, well, when you're walking outdoors, what do you experience? What do you look at? What do you see? And she said, she said, well, I look at the clouds and I see faces in the clouds and I talk to the flowers and I hug trees and I inspect the barks and I look at the little creatures crawling on the ground, the little ants and the caterpillars. And then I hear the wind, she said, and I hear it whispering through the trees. So I let her go on for a while and I said, do you realize what you have just done here? You have brought nature to us. You have brought that to us. You went into that scene, you went into that experience, and it was so real for you as you started to describe it and feel it, that you brought that incredible grace to us. Do you know that that is your gift? So she had not seen that. So we all of us, have unique talents. So the voice of wisdom coming through when I let go and allow that to come through me will be very different for you. It's the same source. We're all one, but it will come and be expressed in a totally unique way that only you have to give. So with that thought, and with the thought that all voice work begins on breath and is supported by breath, I would ask you now just to be still and bring your awareness to your breath. Now, there are many ways to meditate, and we will just do a very short time here, because if you meditate and you go into that deep silence, all thought goes. You're not thinking, oh, I have to put that on my grocery list. It's just complete silence. So we'll just do it very short here. But before you start a meditation, one way that's very workable for me is just to take a big deep breath, not with your shoulders, but pushing out your rib cage at the side, your stomach, your back area. And when you take the deep breath, you take it in as deep as you can, and then stop. And there's an energy shift that you will feel. Some people see color. Some people just feel a buzz and energy, and it will be different for each person. Some people won't feel anything. Doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong, as Shakespeare said, but thinking makes it so. So you take the deep breath and then hold it at that spot just for a minute, that flash of energy, if that works for you, if that's the way you experience it. And then so that would be through your nose, and then just open mouth and just let it go. So let's do that 3 times together. Take a deep breath. In. Hold it. And again, take deep breath. Hold it. And And one more. And release. I am, I am, I am. By all God's love, I know I am. Breathe normally. Feel the space around you. Through the walls, out into the streets. I am. Out into your city or your town. The space, between the space, between the space. I am. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. I am, I am, I am. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. I am, I am, I am, I am. Breathe. Feel the space. And feel the space inside your body. Put your attention inside your body. Feel the space in your organs. Feel the space in between your cells. Feel the space in the neurons, electrons, protons. Feel the space. I am. I am. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. I am, I am, I am, I am. Breathe. And from that place speaks the voice of wisdom. So my wonderful husband, Tink Robinson, I remember thinking, that's an interesting name. And a lot of people used to say, where did you get the name Tink? And it was actually a nickname. And he was called, his parents were English, and he was called a little tinker when he was little. And it's like Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Sailor. A tinker in England sells and makes pots and pans, so a gypsy life. So Tink and I did have a gypsy life because we did entertain together in all of those places that Pixie talked about, literally in tents and literally on floating portable stages that moved as we tried to do tap dance. Lots of fun. So maybe someday I'll tell the story about when the tent blew down, 300 people at this big conference. That was quite the experience, quite the wind and lightning and thunderstorm. So all throughout our married life, Tink wrote me poems. And it could be just Valentine's, or it could be Easter, or it could be any day just because. And eventually we put them in a book. It's actually a beautiful book. It's called I Am Here. And I like to read one of the poems. Now, all of the poems, except for this one, were written in beautiful verse. And they are so deep, and they are so connected to spirit. And that's one of the ways, as well as his incredible talent for music. He could actually hear full orchestrations and hear instruments that have not been yet invented on this earth. So imagine he's enjoying that now. And he was, well, he had an amazing life. He sailed a 72 Stacelfoot schooner in the Bahamas, and he soloed and flew a plane and soloed when he was 65. And he was the original A&W root bear, by the way. So he talks about that. That's a fun story as well. So this song, or I'm thinking song because sometimes I would put his poems into song, and sometimes the lyrics and the music would just come to me together. So this is called Surrender, for You Are You. And I would like to read that for you now. And I can feel Tink's presence, so I'll just bring him in. Know that in the vaster scheme of things, all is as it should be. We have chosen this pathway and have entered into contracts with all those souls who assist us in acting out our lives. But remember, as it is with the wind, so it is with life. The wind blows from any quarter, ever changing, never the same. And yet, it is the wind, a moving force which teaches us that we too can change our direction and soar with our dreams to new places, new heights, and unlimited realities. We can also learn that in the silence, the eye of the hurricane is peaceful. Even as the storm is moving swiftly in ever-increasing spirals, the eye of silence remains calm. To be as the wind is to allow yourself to surrender to the flow of your being in the universe. You are the thistledown, as a song of a bird, or the fragrance of a flower, or the laughter of a child transported on the breath of life, the wind of the holy quest, the flowing breath of the universe. Breathe in and breathe out your essence, for your being, your voice of wisdom, your songs are your gift for the healing winds of change. Thank you, Tink. And this is a song that I wrote. It's called The Voice. And I just wanted to let you in on something that was kind of fun. So when I was doing a sound check with Lawrence this morning, he kept me backing up and backing up and backing up and backing up. So I said, okay, hold it there. So I'll see if I can remember that. And it just reminded me of Tink and I, when we were first married and we started, as I said, our married life in Vancouver. Tink was asked one time to be the master of ceremonies for a big dog show at the PNE, in that great big huge Showmart building. And so the judging had gone on all day long. And after that full day was over, the dogs were put in their kennels around the entire perimeter of this building. Tink and I were asked to entertain at the banquet for all the dog people. So there was a curtained off area up a few steps at the very end of this big Showmart building. And so in our nightclub act, we always had a rousing opening number and then usually a second number. And then Tink and I would maybe take turns after that. I would sing something and then he would come. He was a master tap dancer, a hoofer. He had magic feet. He was of the style of the Fred Astaire style because he also had all the ballet training. So when he would do the riffs where your feet have to go out and you make six taps, da 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 da, he would just lift up like this, and it was so effortless. You could hardly understand it or even perceive that he could actually make all those taps. Whereas there's different styles of dancing. The flat-footed dancers that haven't had the ballet training, they wave their arms around and they come down heavy, whereas Tink was very light. It's not right or wrong, it's just different styles, right? So anyway, so we would do that. So we started our opening number, then we did the second number, and then I started to sing. And as soon as I hit a high note, so guess what? So the dogs The Malamutes were over in the corner to my right, just on the other side of the curtain. Whoa. I won't do this very loud because they were very loud. And then the Beagles, and then the and then the Poodles, and then the Yorkies, and then the big Wolfhounds, and the German Shepherds. They all. I won't do it very loud now because I'm aware that it might blow it. So every single dog in that entire show mart was howling. I mean, what can you do? So we get interruptions in life too. I mean, I thought it was so funny. So I stopped, I looked over at Tink, and we laughed. And I said, okay, well, let's have a sing song, and let's give the dogs some competition. So we sang kind of middle keys, because I have a whole songbook that I wrote of just middle keys, so not too high, not too low, so everyone could sing it. And then the dogs kind of got used to it and settled down. So I just was reminded of that when Lawrence and I were practicing this morning, that I am to remember to move back here. So this song is called The Voice. And as I sing this and as I sing the words, just go inside yourself or do whatever you wish to do. You can close your eyes if you wish or not. No right, no wrong. And just take in what this song is saying to you. Get back to my spot right here. Within me is a voice so pure and so beautiful. It helps me live in wonder and in harmony. From this crystal voice, secure with wisdom true and full, it calls me to remember as it speaks to me. I am within you, your voice still and clear. Be still now and listen, my dear one, it's time now to hear. Within me this pure voice reminds me of my innocence, where all's forgiven, pure and true, where all is known. I embrace this voice and claim my worth with confidence that all my life's a miracle. My heart, my home, I am within you. So let your heart sing, for I am within you, with gentle music to bring. This eternal voice is guiding me to know what's real, for it's the only voice of my pure destiny. Now this soothing voice is teaching me to cleanse and heal. It tells me all is well, for I am whole and free. I am within you. My love is your song, for I am within you. In me you belong. I am within you. Let love be your choice, for I am within you, and I am your only true voice. The I am within me has always been voice. So, what is your true voice? If there is ever a time to speak your voice of wisdom, that time is now. The world needs you. The world needs you and me and all of us to create the type of world that we want to live in, not the kind of world that a few want to control. So what is your voice of wisdom? What is your vision of the world? Picture it, know it, live it, be it, experience it, and it will be so. You will attract that. All you try to learn, you already know. All that you seek to be, you already are. So when you accept in the innermost core of your being that God within you, the presence, is everything, the infinite God, the individualized presence of God, which is you, and the impersonal God, which we see in those beautiful tulips that are behind that magnificent stone fireplace where Pixie lives. You are the individualized presence of God. You take all your direction from the infinite through you and speak from that place the divine voice of wisdom. Know within every fabric and every fiber of your being that God is the center of who you are. And from that place, the voice of wisdom speaks. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. I am. I am. I am. By all God's love, I know. I am. And I'd like to close with a song. This is another song that I wrote. It's kind of fun singing unaccompanied because I love singing with big band music and so on, as you heard in the prelude. But it's very intimate and unplugged when singing unaccompanied. So just you and the voice. And maybe sometime, but when we are able to all meet together in person and I'm able to travel out from Calgary up to BC, where I love BC so much, and I could conduct a voice workshop, and then we can really let our voices loose. So this song is called Heartbeat. And you can imagine a drum beat behind it, a native drum beat, heartbeat with that. So just tune into the rhythm of this song and listen to the words. And I will close with this song. Listen to your heartbeat. The answers lie within you. They're always true. Breathe into your heartbeat. Feel all the love that's in you. In all you do. Mother Earth will teach you to respect all living things. Father Sky will show you just what giving brings. Feel your own heartbeat, heartbeat. All is known inside of you. Swaying to your heartbeat, the rhythm flows within you, and all is well. Breathe into your heartbeat, the fire glows within you, where spirit dwells. Touch the earth, her beating is the very heart of you. Hear the blowing wind, know it is a part of you. Feel your own heartbeat, heartbeat. All is known inside of you. Listen to heartbeat, heartbeat. All is known inside of you. All is known inside of you. All is known inside of you. Heartbeat, 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 heartbeat.
Wow, Judy, that was wonderful. Thank you so, so much for your heartwarming and enlightening message and for your delightful soul nurturing songs.